Welcome to Car Coach Reports. This is 4-Minute Friday for the week ending October 12th, 2018. I'm Lauren Fix, live in Big Sur, California, where we are test driving the Audi A8. It is a beautiful, luxurious, technologically amazing car. You'll see our full his turn, her turn review coming up with my co-host Paul Bryan in the next few days. This is what's going on in your automotive world. Stay right with us. Let's put 4 minutes on the clock. First, the Department of Transportation is rolling out some new guidances for the autonomous car future that they claim we all want. Interestingly, AAA has a new study saying that 73% of you are saying, I don't want to ride an autonomous car. I'm actually kind of afraid. Of course, remember there was someone that passed away when an Uber killed a lady who was crossing the street because unfortunately computers are not people. They don't see things the way we do, they don't process things the same way we do, and the results of that are sometimes computers make mistakes. I'm sure we've all had our phone lock up, our computer crash, or our car not function the way it's supposed to. This is what happens when you rely on computers and you don't rely on yourself, your brains, and the skills that you learned in driver's ed, and I highly suggest you get additional classes, especially if you have a new driver in the house. Made my kids take the Skip Barber driving school, and they continue to learn and educate themselves on being better drivers. I suggest everybody do the same thing. The bottom line is the new rules that are coming out from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Department of Transportation, I don't think they're still up to par. There's a lot of things that are coming into play like Copilot 360. I mean, every manufacturer's starting to come up with that level 2, kind of level 3 autonomous, which means we're helping keep you in the lane. Blind spot detection, cross traffic alert, forward collision warning, autonomous braking. These are things that help you be safer on the road. If you don't understand them, go back to the manufacturer where you got your car or the dealer and say, hey, can you explain this to me? Can you show me how this works? The more you know about it, the better it's going to be. The fact is we have to learn about this stuff and no one's teaching the consumer, so there's no confidence. And part of what NHTSA is trying to do is keep some sort of guidelines. I think they're still behind the times as this is rolling so quickly forward, you'd be surprised how further they are than you might think. For example, in 2009, Audi had a TTS that they took to the top of Pikes Peak fully autonomous. So it's been around for 10 years. This technology is available. The fact is we as consumers aren't ready. The roadways are far from ready because they need to have guaranteed markers on both sides. And if they don't, you have to take over. The problem is if you don't practice any skill, like I've discussed before, this is where problems come into play. Number 3, President Trump has decided that he's going to approve E15. That's 15% ethanol in your gasoline. I am absolutely 100% against doing that. Any of you that own motorcycles, snowmobiles, weed whackers, anything that's a 2-cycle, 2-stroke, a small engine, you know what ethanol does. It clogs up the engine. It causes it to run hot. And for those of us with cars that aren't flex fuel vehicles, which is most of the cars on the road, you will find that almost all the manufacturers, over 10 of them, have said if you use E15 fuel in our vehicles, you void the warranty on your vehicle. The engine runs hot, it's highly corrosive, and ethanol is made of corn. Now, there are people that have said that, okay, then they're not producing rye and wheat in the fields, they're producing corn for ethanol, so food costs more. That may or may not be true. I'm not really big on the food industry, but from a car standpoint, if you're taking a bushel of corn and turning it into a gallon of ethanol, that is food that could be used for animals or feed. However, what the big problem is, it's highly corrosive, it separates from regular gasoline, it causes your octane rating to be lower in the manufacture of gasoline and then increases that difference of octane, that's that number you see on the pump, to a higher percentage. It's because of the high burning rate. There is less energy per gallon in ethanol than there is in gasoline. Bottom line is, if you ever had a check engine light come on and the mechanic or the technician says, hey, it's a mass airflow sensor, guess what? It is a mass airflow sensor because they're running too hot and they're actually burning them up. It causes damage to fuel lines, it causes damage to gas tanks, to emission systems, hello, we're supposed to be greener, and to engines. And who's gonna pay for that? It's not going to be the federal government, it's going to be you. And so while President Trump thinks he's helping corn farmers with subsidies which come out of our tax dollars, the reality of it all is it's damaging the engines in most of the vehicles that we own. I am 100% against ethanol as a total. There are other solutions. You can use natural gas to produce ethanol that isn't as corrosive. There are lots of other solutions, but this, my friends, is not the one. And you can tell I'm very heated about it, so you're going to see me posting all over social media. I am totally against ethanol. What do you think? October 8th, a lot of things happened in automotive history. Number one, the Mercury brand debuted. Now, if you remember Ford Lincoln Mercury, the Mercury brand did debut, and sadly, it's no longer with us. It's one of those many brands like Saturn and Hummer that have disappeared from the planet. However, for those of you that own an old Mercury, they are very cool cars. In 1959, the Ford Falcon debuted, and those are really cool cars. They had Falcon Sprints in 1963 that had V8 engines in them. Many of them had 6-cylinder engines. If you owned a Mercury or a Falcon, I kind of want to hear your story, because it's all about automotive history. We all have memories about our vehicles. And finally, October 8th, 1961, Watkins Glen International had their first Grand Prix. Now, I'm a huge fan of Watkins Glen. It's my home track. And if you've ever been there, there's a lot of great history. And if you get a chance, you gotta drive the historical roads, because the original track is still marked on the roadway so that you can see it. Of course, don't race in the streets. We race on the track these days. For those of you who are smart enough to stay till the end of this 4-Minute Friday, there is a giveaway. Yes, we are giving away 5 Harman Kardon very cool gifts to those of you who helped us reach 20,000 subscribers. We'll be giving away more every time that we get some goodies that we would love to give away to our favorite people, which is you. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. Make sure to like and share. Hit that little bell right next to the subscription button, and you'll be notified next time we put up a 4-Minute Friday, a car coach reports, a his turn, her turn, or some very cool giveaways. We review cars, we talk about things that impact you, and we appreciate your feedback and your comments. And thanks for all those great comments this week, and I am more than happy to reply to your questions. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.